So we'll go ahead and get started. As I said, I'm Jen Dio, quality of life strategist. And first we're going to talk about WIIFM. And if any of you do not know what that is, it's WIIFM. What's in it for me? So you always hear that term mostly with marketing and things like that. So what's in it for me? You know, when people are advertising and things like that, they're trying to promote something that gives you that feeling of a result or an outcome or what's in it for me. But I think many times we don't even take a moment to ask ourselves that question. And I know for me, I was always saying yes. I always say I'm a recovering people pleaser. And so my question for you is, are you always saying yes without thinking of the WIIFM? What's in it for me? And if you are always saying yes, are you asking yourself any questions before you say yes? Okay, which has to do with this entire WIIFM idea. So I was that person. I was always saying yes and never really asked myself the what's in it for me. But when I was reflecting a little bit earlier, I was thinking about it as I was going in this corporate career and achieving. My WIIFM was more about external success, external finance, what society says I should be doing, and not necessarily what's in it for me. And so I ask you to take that step when you're saying yes or when you're considering something, no matter how small, no matter how big, what's in it for you? And by no means is it being greedy. I feel like I always have to say this because there's this stigma about thinking too much about ourselves, you know, that we're being greedy, we're being selfish. And I always say, in order to be your best self to others, you must first be your best self to you. And it's so true. You can still help others. You can still be there for others and serve others while it be whatever the event is, whatever the thing that you're saying yes to is, while it's still beneficial to you. Okay. Because you can find that nice balance. And it's not just about things or material items. It's a feeling, you know when something's right. And I'm very much a gut checker, if someone asks me to do something, used to yes. And now it's like, does that feel right for me? Does that sit with me right? And does it resonate with me? And so it's not just about things or material objects. It's also about the feeling, the what's in it for me feeling. And this could be found, this example of asking yourself what's in it for me could be found in a career, relationships, events. And so just make sure that you align yourself with like-minded people, like-minded environments where you feel valued, where you feel respected, where you feel that you can be you. And I also want to bring up, I have this awesome life hack. It's, hey, Tempra. I have this awesome life hack. It's live life on your terms. And so it's basically listing everything that you do have on your plate and you evaluate it based on time, based on enjoyment, based on requirement, and based on meaningfulness. So you're really evaluating everything you're saying yes to and seeing whether you should whittle down those plates and all of your responsibilities that you have going on. And so let me know, private message me if you want me to send you that life hack. It's a worksheet, live life on your terms. So let me know if you'd like that. So that was it about the WIIFM. What's in it for me? Ask yourself that anytime someone asks you to do something, you don't always have to say yes, and make sure to ask yourself, what's in it for me? And it's not greedy. And the second thing, the second acronym is FOMO. You've all heard of FOMO, I'm sure, fear of missing out. And it kind of overlaps with this first thought of the WIIFM, what's in it for me? Because sometimes we say yes because we're not thinking of the WIIFM. We are afraid of missing out on what others are doing. And social media has not helped with this. We can know what everyone is doing at any time of the day. And it's like we're addicted to knowing what everyone else is doing, being a part of what everyone else is doing. So social media has not helped with that. And I know I'm on social media right now, but it hasn't helped. And then also society hasn't helped. Society says that we always need the best of everything. We have to be the best. We need the best because otherwise we're missing out on the best results, the best outcomes, the best of this. And so how about thinking of FOMO in another term about a fear of missing out on you? Okay, what's right in front of you. So not a fear of missing out on what's going on outside of you, what's going on externally, a fear of missing out on what's right in front of you, what's in the present. Think about it that way instead. And that will also help you to stop saying yes to so many things. Because if you're just saying yes to something because of FOMO, that's not a good enough reason. You'll get over it, I promise you. And also it has to do with that comparison game I always talk about. Comparing yourself to others. I want what they have, I want what she has, whatever it is, that also has to do with the FOMO. And so say a meaningful yes to you. When you're committing to something, say yes to you. So, so important. So we covered the WIIFM, we covered the FOMO. And now, speaking of FOMO, I have my brand new podcast coming out, launching next week. It's called The Real Deal with Jen Deal. I know you like that name, very creative, right? It's coming out next week, but I am inviting you to be a guest on the podcast. And I have the application. It's just an easy form. I say application like it's so technical and all of this formal, but it's just an easy way to track everything. And so you can find that on my link if you want to be a part of my podcast. Okay. Yay. Thanks, Temper. You gonna be a guest on my show? So the last thing I want to talk about, let me grab a sip real quick. So the last thing I want to talk about, check out the podcast, Real Deal with Jen Deal. Okay, so last thing I want to talk about is breaking down walls. I know the name is good, right, Tempera? That means she doesn't want to be on my show. That means she just likes my name, in case you guys were wondering. So breaking down the walls, that's my last thing I want to talk about. So I was talking with a client this week, and, she's had this wall around her. She's had this wall around her due to relationships and things of that nature. And it's almost a protection wall. We build these boundaries, we build up these walls, and it's based on fear, and it's a protection, like a safety net, if you will. And it almost prevents us from building any more trust because we've lost that trust somehow. And so there's so many reasons of why you could have built up this wall. But for me, I was building up a wall about my facade. I'm always happy-go-lucky type person, but I had this wall about telling my story of anxiety, of stress, of panic, and no more. This is me. This is who I am. And so we build up these walls. And what I want you to remember is that you no longer need them. We needed them at that time to protect you. That's what we do. That's what our body does. However, we don't have to have this wall for the rest of our lives. It is exhausting to build these walls and build these boundaries. And that's a common theme because it's exhausting saying yes to everyone. It's exhausting doing everything just because of FOMO. And it's exhausting to have walls, okay? And so over time, these walls will lead to pain. Over time, these walls will prevent you from relationships, powerful relationships that you may really need. And so you no longer need these. Break down this wall one brick at a time and be aware, first of all, that you have this wall that you've built, and reach out to me. If there's anything that you want to talk about, I can totally help you. Baby steps, break down these walls. But if you, first of all, have the wall, that's the first piece, is having the awareness. Why do you have the wall? Maybe it's something that happened to you 20 years ago and you've been carrying around this weight on your shoulders and walking around with this wall around you for 20 years. But once you realize it's there, then you can start breaking it down one brick at a time, okay? So that was it. We talked about the WIIFM, we talked about the FOMO, we talked about breaking down the walls. Feel free to reach out to me if you have any questions, if you have any ideas for topics for next week. And check me out, jendeal.net. All right, much love to you all. Hope you have a wonderful night. Bye for now.